Hello, Internet. So, like a lot of other people, I was planning on doing an unboxing video. In fact, I recorded the video, but didn't record the audio, which is to say, not successfully. Ran into some technical difficulties, as it were. So, considering my options from that, I thought, why not do something a little different? So, this is my unboxing video presented to you from within Virtual Desktop Theater. As you can see, if I look around, I am indeed in space in the default environment within Virtual Desktop. My Steam, or I should say my Vive controllers are here in front of me, but not strictly necessary for what we're doing here. Set them down on my desk, which no one can see. And I will just, rather than provide the audio that was originally recorded, just kind of give some commentary to my reactions as I unboxed the HTC Vive. The first thing I noticed actually is that the box is a lot bigger than I expected. Um, you can get a pretty good idea of how big the headset and controllers are from other videos and whatnot on the internet. But the Vive is really packed in with a lot of other things and a lot of foam to keep things, safe in shipping. So that was a surprise. Opening the box right on top is sort of a quick setup guide, a get started sheet. Which is pretty helpful. Gives you the first steps of where you're going to want to put things. And then, of course, inside the controllers, the lighthouse base stations, and the headset itself. Controllers that probably most of you are at least visually familiar with already, packed in there pretty safely and securely. Next up, the lighthouse base stations, and they're real snugly, I noticed. And this is for you, Internet. The sacred peeling of the protective plastic. Every bit as satisfying as you might hope. So that's base station number one and base station number two. And of course comes the actual Vive headset. One thing I noticed immediately was that it's lighter than I expected. This is, of course, having never used a developer kit or any other headset for that matter, including the Oculus or any of the phone-based ones other than Google Cardboard. And that's even with the weight of the cable on there. It's lighter than I expected. So um, at this point, I was presuming, and I feel it's accurate that when a lot of the cable is actually unspooled and running across the floor, it takes a lot of the weight off. Of course, more protective coverings on things, the lenses on the inside, and a small cover over the front-facing camera. And that is that. So next I grabbed out the little box on the side there. Has a number of odds and ends in it. First of which is the breakout box. That's just provides power to the headset itself, and then a point to connect everything up. I mean, of course, there's one cable that runs from the headset, but three different wires: USB, HDMI, um, and power. And it does provide some added bonus of when you do happen to pull on the cords, if you get the extent of your cord length while walking, playing, whatever, it does pull on the little box rather than directly on the back of your PC. And I have actually once already experienced pulling the cables loose a little bit. Didn't pose any problems other than a fairly jarring interrupt in the VR experience, which required me to close Steam VR, reconnect everything, then open up again. But it was fine. No, problems beyond that. Um, that there was the power adapter for the breakout box. There are three power adapters in the box, one for the breakout box and one for each of the lighthouse base stations, and they are similar, though the cord for the base stations is longer and a little bit thicker, possibly more insulated. I'm not sure. Um, there was some warranty information and safety information in that box. Those are the small paper pamphlets you saw a moment ago. And this here is the set of earbuds that came with it. No, many people have really talked about it as far as I've heard, but I'm really happy with those for being, just sort of standard feeling earbuds, although a little bit larger. So they have, I guess, better drivers, but they do have very good sound. I've never owned a set of really nice earbuds. Just sort of the standards that come with an iPhone or that sort of thing. And these definitely have more bass, more oomph to their sound. And seeing as they have a very short cord designed to plug right into the back of the Vive, they're comfortable. They're great. They're better than I expected, actually. A lot of people have talked about the built-in headphones for the Oculus Rift, and I haven't got a chance to try that yet, but they're great. Uh, the earbuds, rather, I should say, are great. Um, and then at this point, I did hit the what I thought was the end of the unboxing. I was completely mistaken. Under these compartments here are more things, which I very quickly realized as I didn't have the chance to plug everything in with what I had out of the box. So I will continue that in a moment. So coming back, I had at this point discovered that there were compartments under each of the foam insert boxes containing the controllers and the base stations. Underneath there were the previously mentioned power adapters for the base stations, along with the cables and the sync cable for the base stations. Should you need that, it's optional. If your base stations are in good view of each other, if they are obstructed, you will need to connect them with the sync cable. It's a very long cable, so it should provide some options. But again, not necessary if the base stations can see each other, which I think for most people will probably be the case. That there that I'm holding is the sync cable. Also in the box are a pair of smaller AC adapters and USB cords, like the ones I just pulled out there. And those are used to either charge the controllers. There's a small port right here where they plug in, uh, and also can be used to connect to the PC directly if you need to do any firmware updates. Mine were fine, although I was able to do a firmware update on one of them. It was working fine before and after, but I figured may as well get everything up to date. The base stations have a USB port too. I haven't done anything with that yet, though. So there we have everything out of the box. And from there, it was just a matter of setting everything up. So once again, this is recorded from within Virtual Desktop. You can see we're floating in some fairly beautiful asteroid belt. And though none of you can see this in 3 dimensions, rest assured it is. It's very nice. It's a very nice effect. Um, And also worth mentioning, all the audio for this is recorded from the Vive headset itself. It has a microphone built into the front, which works pretty well. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you again soon.